Okay, I get it. The title of this video may come off as a bit drastic, and perhaps it is. But there is an issue in today's gaming industry that is really starting to bother me. And looking at future games coming out, I don't see it getting any better. In fact, I think it's only getting worse. And no, even though it is a big problem, I'm not talking about microtransactions. Even though I probably should be talking about microtransactions because, well, microtransactions, they can go suck my dick. Instead, I want to discuss the most basic decision made when a video game is first introduced. Should our game be linear or open world? At this point, you may be sitting there scratching your head, wondering why this is even a topic for discussion. Why does it matter, you may be asking? Well, as your gracious host for this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why I believe the formula behind a majority of open world games these days are killing the overall quality of the product. Now let me get this one thing straight before you start typing your angry comments down below about how I'm an idiot before I even make my argument. I like open world games. I think that they can offer some variety that is just not possible with a linear game. The issue I have is that not every open world game is crafted like Grand Theft Auto 5, The Witcher 3, or hell, even the Batman Arkham games. And the stigma that every game needs to be more open is completely wrong. The problem that I have is that most games, Ubisoft, force an open world, Ubisoft, and basically make the same game over and over again. Ubisoft. Like seriously, I've played about 9 or 10 Assassin's Creed games, and only 2 of them actually had Assassin's Creed written on the cover. Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed with hacks. The Division, Assassin's Creed, but shit.
You are fit as hell if you can hold that in one hand and do that.
Yeah.
Steep, Assassin's Creed, with skiing. All of these games consist of the same formula. They set up a big world with multiple zones. You have to climb to a tower, or go to a base of some sort, do something, then unlock that part of the map so that you can do the same exact boring, repetitive side missions in that new area, and then repeat in 10 other zones or so in the entire map. Throw in some meaningless collectibles to collect, add a subpar story, and bam, video game made. And although I'm mainly referring to Ubisoft games, and by the way, if you pronounce it Ubisoft, you can kill yourself, but they are certainly not the only culprit of this. The big problem that derives from this really comes from you, the consumer. People are spending $60 or more on these games, and they really want to get their money's worth. Nothing makes a consumer angrier when they feel that they just threw their money away. People want content in their games, and so content is what they get. This makes the developers broaden their games, showing off a map with tons of stuff to do. And while this concept is good to an extent, it quickly becomes exploited, as those missions are not only boring, for the most part, but they're also completely the same, making doing them feel like a chore, like I'm going to the grocery store, checking things off a list, wasting away my time by driving my little drone into a vent 100 times to collect whatever this stuff is. Honestly, why is there a bag in a vent? These companies try to push a whole bigger is better mentality to get you to feel like their game is filled with stuff to do. They show off their map and are like, hey, look at all these icons we put on the screen. But hey, we're giving you what you want, so why are you complaining? I mean, look at all this stuff to do. And technically, they're not lying. Technically, there is tons of stuff to do, but the quality of this stuff is so low. Sure, bigger sometimes is better, but sometimes it's not. I mean, seriously, why would anyone buy this? Fat pieces of shit. The discrepancy present is within the content itself. Games like Metal Gear and Mafia changed into open world games after being criticized for not having enough to do or having too many cutscenes. And while MGS5 is a great game, the open world design ruined some of the previous charm from earlier games. Sure, you could throw at me a game with a bazillion planets, or give me a huge map with tons of things to do, but if they're all completely barren, then it isn't really content. People need to realize that there's a difference between content and good content. Content needs to stay fresh, exciting, and new. I would much rather play a 12 to 15 hour linear story game with intense set pieces in action, cool collectibles littered throughout the environment, well-designed areas with multiple approaches to combat, and a well-written story with likable, relatable characters like Uncharted 4, than run around a barren wasteland in the same amount of time, climbing buildings and picking up phone recordings, controlling an emotionless dude that has no development or story at all that I care about. Sometimes a game feels like it's being crammed into an open world and it just doesn't fit. Battlefield Hardline, which is a completely different type of game, I understand, would have been much better if it wasn't being held down by the laws of making it a Battlefield game. It would have been much better if it was just its own new cop game. While I feel it was necessary, Watch Dogs 2's, try saying that 10 times, but Watch Dogs 2's, Watch Dogs 2, Watch Dogs 2, open world design contradicted everything else about the game. It made you this light-hearted hipster named Marcus using a taser to take down his enemies. But since it's open world, all of the characterization that they clearly tried to make with this character was squandered, because the open world design made it possible to do shit like this.
Fan out! We're gonna find him!
Come on! Oh.
And I get it, not every game needs to have a great story. To many gamers, that whole aspect doesn't matter at all. What I'm asking for is at least a little coherence. If a developer wants to make an open world game with a story, they need to at very least make it fit with the characters. While not having the greatest open worlds, at least games like Infamous Second Son and Destiny warrant and fit an open world design. These two categories are separate for a reason, and it should really stay that way. There is freedom in open world games that is just not possible in linear games, and there is immersion in linear games that is not possible to have in an open world game. All I simply ask is for developers to take this aspect of their game more seriously, because it can be detrimental for the overall quality of the product. And from a gamer/consumer standpoint, one has to realize the strengths and weaknesses with both types of games. A big gripe people have with linear games is that you'll play it once and then never again. And this is a valid point if you're playing one that's absolute shit. But this isn't always true. Ironically enough, I've put more hours into a game like Uncharted or The Last of Us than I have in really any open world game, and I've had more fun doing it as well. And if you are one of those people, I have one final question for you before I end the video. Would you rather play this 10 times? Or this? Okay, yeah. That was the video, guys. I realize that this is not the normal type of video for this channel, but I kind of want it to be. Obviously, the regular videos that come out will still be there. But you know, I wanted to try something a bit more sophisticated, so if you made it this far in the video, some feedback would be really appreciated. And what are your guys' thoughts? Do you prefer linear or open world games more? If you want to see some more videos, you can click right here on screen, and if you want to subscribe, the option is there too. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you all for watching, and now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to get myself a Grand Mac.